What's up everyone? I am 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗀. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you were here today. But before we get into today's episode, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so I can hit my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I had the incredible opportunity to go in person and attend the Netflix 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗀 event, and it was absolutely incredible. Of course, as not just a fan of so many of these shows, but having such a passion for a lot of them, it just felt so surreal to be there in person. But absolutely 100% was there for Stranger Things. This is the moment we have been anticipating for so long, and to finally have a quick glimpse into this season. And not only that, but official dates. It feels so refreshing. And not only that, not just 2 parts like we all suspected, and I think it was supposed to be 2 parts, but 3. Volume 1, November 26th, Volume 2, Christmas Day, and the finale, New Year's Eve. So you could say that I am booked and busy for the holidays. So family and friends, sorry. I think it was absolutely the right move to start off this teaser with Joyce and Will having a heart-to-heart. I think this is going to be a beautiful, tender, maybe even emotional part. Maybe Will comes out to his mom in this moment. I think that would be a beautiful thing. Maybe she already knows. Obviously, I think Jonathan does suspect that, but I would love to have a mother and son moment in that moment. But this specific dialogue, she's talking about when it happened, when Will disappeared. And I love that we are talking about that in her feelings and really taking us back to where it all started on that November 6th, 1983 day. And then going into montage of season 1 to season 4 of very important, iconic moments, maybe moments that are important to you, seeing characters that we love like Eddie. I think that was a beautiful moment. And then going into the dates, and then immediately going into flashes of season 5. First, we see Joyce, iconic parallel to her holding the axe in season 1. And we see Will in the background. He feels like he's looking up, and we've seen glimpses of that from behind the scene footage of him looking up. And I definitely think, he's trying, I think that Vecna could be trying to get a hold of him once more. And so that's going to be very important. And then we can see Erica in the background. We've seen photos of her as well. At the top, we see Derek. It hasn't been officially announced that his character is called that, but that's just kind of what everyone's saying. So we're just going to go along with that. Everyone has suspected that he's floating and like he's being Vecnified. I think it's just alleged, guys. I don't think he's dying right there. And then a glimpse of Robin in the background as well. And whatever is coming through this barn door is not a friend. We see a shot of Holly and Karen just in absolute fear. And the wallpaper kind of gives me Creole House vibes. There also was photos of Holly and Henry Vecna, but in human form. Like I said, not going to share that. You can absolutely go find that as well, because it's not officially shared by them, by Stranger Things. But we have an episode titled called The Vanishing of Blank. And it was also leaked a while back, the titles, and it was stated that it's The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. And I've talked about in some of my videos on Instagram how I think if you kind of look at different photos of Holly, she has this little figurine around her neck, and it's definitely looks like a D&D piece, and I think Mike's gonna give it to her in hopes that it protects her. But I think this moment could definitely either be at the Creole House, or we obviously have seen moments of Holly at her house in her bedroom with flashing lights. That's definitely, I think, Vecna trying to toy with her, scare her. But this could definitely be in this episode of The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. People have said that possibly Ted Wheeler by this moment is dead. I do think that the moments of the portals, you know, being open, Demogorgons coming to flood Hawkins. I think this could definitely be that moment. I think maybe a Demogorgon is going to be running through their house, chasing them. I think Karen Wheeler is going to get extremely hurt. And in that moment, I think Holly is going to be taken and vanish. Glimpse of our Lumax. Having that moment, I think, is very important to the Lumax community. You obviously can tell that she doesn't have the neck brace, you know, the cast. So I do think she's healing, and I think this moment's going to be very tender too. You know, maybe Lucas is talking to her, saying what's kind of like going on, what's been happening, and just wishing that she was here. But I do think, and we need it, that we are gonna have our Lumax movie theater date coming in the end. To get a shot of Steve and our Dustin, that's definitely going to be at the lab. We've seen photos of that as well, seen a footage of that too during the behind the scenes, and I can see, you know, Nancy and Jonathan and Steve and Dustin splitting off in the lab. So I'm excited to have those moments of those duos back together. Elle and Hopper. This moment feels possibly maybe a new location. We've seen Elle in this outfit before, and I think, you know, it could either be in the bunker of the radio station. You know, she's missing. She's definitely going into hiding again because the military wants her. They want to figure this out, and I feel like they are like, she's the key to this stopping. And so I think she's in critical pain here. Hopper trying to, you know, help her get through it. Maybe it could be Vecna trying to really get into her mind again. Maybe those red lights going off could be something with military. Not super sure. We've seen a very quick glimpse of Alex's new character as military with red lights in the background. So maybe it has to do with that, and maybe a military alarm. Maybe the military are making her in pain. I'm not sure, but so happy that those two are back together again. And then we also see this giant wall of absolute chaos, disgust in the Upside Down. And you do see two characters in the bottom corner. And if you brighten it up, it's definitely Elle and Hopper. So they're in the Upside Down. I think this is the edge of Hawkins. I think they are trying to figure all this out, put a stop to this. Maybe they're trying to also find a way to get Max out of this state that she's in. But this moment, they're going on their own quest, and I'm ecstatic to see it. I also see this moment of Mike protecting. I mean, Will has said he's the heart of this group, so he's absolutely taking on that role of protecting everyone. In the background, you see Joyce with Will, and he looks absolutely, probably has to be affected by something that, you know, Vecna is getting in his mind, and it's making him feel weak, unconscious, something. And then we also see two new characters, a girl and a boy to the side as well. There has been speculation of this girl here with glasses that her name is Debbie. That has not been officially announced yet, and then I do believe people have suspected that this boy's name is Tommy, Thomas, something like that, but obviously don't quote me on that yet because it has not been officially announced. But this looks intense. I feel like this whole sequence of events is going to be absolutely nuts, because we also see quick shots of military. The ground is shaking with like these doors with red lights. Something's coming up. I think it has to do with the tunnels. They have briefly shown us the tunnels in the behind the scene footage, and that's just paying tribute to season 2, and I'm ecstatic for that. And I think this is going to be Demogorgons coming out, and Vecna's doing. I think we're going to see Vecna come make this big, intense entrance. We have military around. You also see quick shots. There is someone laying on the ground in the back, and I do believe that is Will on the ground with Joyce. If you notice, there's two sets of military groups. There's one military group looking at one area, and then the military looking towards the camera at the door there. There's two doors here. I think this is downtown Hawkins, the military base, like their closed off Hawkins because of the portals, and I fully think this is the moment that everything is breaking out. Demogorgons are going to be flooding Hawkins. This is going to be insane, like absolutely quick. The Duffer Brothers have talked about how this opening of Stranger Things 5 is not going to be slow. Like, it is going to be fast, so don't blink. And then the final moment, we hear Will scream. This moment sent full body chills throughout my entire body. A while back, it was last year, there was leaked footage of this. I'm not gonna play that. You can absolutely find that yourself. But it was footage of hearing someone scream that moment. And everyone was suspecting that it was like Dustin or Jonathan, but I 100% felt that it was Will saying it. And them showing that moment, insane. I don't know if maybe it's a moment where he's about to get possessed by Vecna and he's telling everyone they gotta run before it fully takes over him. But with all that to say, Stranger Things 5, the final adventure, is coming to a close this fall. So let me know in the comments what you were most excited about for this season, any theories that you have as well, and I will see you next time.